Welcome back to the video. In this video, let's see what are the aggregate functions that are available in SQL and how we can use that. So the aggregate functions in SQL is a function that perform a calculation on a set of values and return a single value. These functions summarize and analyze the data, providing useful metrics such as count, average, sum, and more. So why we use aggregate function in SQL? Aggregate functions are used to summarize and analyze the large dataset efficiently. We can perform a calculation by using group by also, generate meaningful statistics and metrics for reporting and decision making. So in order to generate efficient result, we can use the aggregate function in SQL. Let's see one by one what are the aggregate functions that are available. So in aggregate functions that are available in SQL, that are mainly we have count. It is used to count the number of rows and it will return the single output, and it counts the number of, for example, it will, if I want to count the number of products in a catalog, I can use this count function. If then we have sum for to add the numerical value in a column. If I have the values column like sales, if I want to sum of all the sales, then I can use this sum function. So for example, calculate the total revenue from sales, I can use this sum function to calculate that. Like that, I have average to get the average of a set of value, computing the average of numerical value in a column, find the average of salary of employees, and we have the minimum function. It's give the minimum value in that column. Then we have the maximum function. It retrieves the largest value in the column and find the highest score in the student record. So let's see one by one in the workbench itself. First I will use count. If I want to count the number of records that are available, for this purpose I will use this honey production data set. So here we can see the entire data set. It has the state, number of colonies, yield per colony, total product, stock, price per, and the production value year. It have all this information. If I want to aggregate, use the aggregate function and get some calculation out of this. First I want to calculate, I will use count. So select, if I use select, I will use count. I want to count everything from this table. So let's see what will we get. So we have the count of total number of rows, that is 785. We can use the count to count any value. If I want to count a number of row, or if I want to count the number of colonies, I can use that. If I want to count the distinct colonies, so I have the distinct function also. If I use distinct, and I want to use the, if I want to calculate the distinct state, then I can use count distinct. If I run this code, it will give the distinct states. On top of this, if I add count here, it will give the count of that distinct state. So if I give this, it have the total number of 44 states. So what I did here is, first I get the distinct state. By using distinct state, it will give only the unique state from that column. On top of that, I add count, so it will give the total number of unique states. So this is how I can aggregate by using count. Then next we have uh, another aggregation function, that is sum. So let's see how we can use that. So sum is basically used to sum of all the value. For example, here in this table I have this column, right? uh, like uh, total production, it has the total production. So select, if I select, that total production from this honey production table. Let's see what will we get. So it will give the that column. So here I can see it will give all the column. It's the data of separate states. So if I want to calculate all the sum of all this, I just need to use the aggregate function sum on top of this column. So if I use this, like, I can get all the sum of all total production in that column. Likewise, I can also use the average here to get the average of total production. So I can get the average. Like that, I can also use the minimum function over here. So the minimum function, so min, and like that I can also use the maximum. So this is how I can use the aggregate function to get aggregated output. Here it calculating the sum, minimum, maximum of this particular column, and it will give the output. So this is how I can use aggregate function. I can use the aggregate function with the group by also. We will be discussing that in the next video. So this is about this video. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next video.